Hey guys, it's Lizzie. So I'm leaving for the airport tomorrow. I'm so excited. So, ow, I just hit my hand. So again, I have a second-degree burn. If you didn't watch the last two videos, I've gone to get medical treatment. I've been to the doctor 3 times in the past week, so I'm getting it taken care of. Do not worry. And it doesn't hurt at all anymore. So this is gonna just be a Q&A video answering your questions you sent to me on Instagram.
But they know nothing about all of this silence and patience, pining in anticipation. My hands are shaking from holding back from you. All of this
Cora, Desi, how are you? So I'm really happy right now. I'm so excited for Thanksgiving break, but my hand has a second-degree burn on it, and I kind of lied saying there's no pain. It kind of aches, but on Saturday it was a level 10 pain, so bad, constant pain. Now it's just a little bit. So it generally exhausts me having this injury, just because I feel like my body is putting so much energy towards healing. So it's kind of making me a little like down and low energy, but objectively I'm really happy, if that makes sense. Also, what is the best way to curb emotional dependency? I have no idea because I'm such an emotionally independent person. My problem is relying on people rather than depending on people. But what I recommend is just spending a lot of alone time with yourself. Listen to music, analyze your emotions through music, journal out your thoughts, pray about what you're feeling, or write out prayers to God about what you're feeling. Read the Bible. That really helps me to analyze my own emotions, especially the Psalms, Ecclesiastes, Proverbs, Job, that whole section of the Bible. Just find any artistic outlet to express your own emotions and understand yourself better. And soon you'll probably get to the place I'm at, where I prefer to understand myself and take care of myself, because it's so much more fun being able to write poems and analyze music rather than talking to someone. It's more creative and fun. What was the hardest time in your life? 2015 until now. When my bipolar has fully come out, it's been hell up to this euphoric heaven, addicted to the mania, going on and off meds. It's been horrible. I've had so much brain damage, memory loss. I felt so lost. I think the worst time was last summer, so 2016, because I had been in this really severe depression episode and I'd been trying so many different meds. None of them were working. It took 4 months for the meds to finally kick in to get out of depression. And once I was out, I thought I would finally be back to myself and it'd be amazing. I was like looking towards this point. But then when I finally became not depressed anymore and was myself, I was so confused. I didn't know how to be myself. It was the strangest thing. It was like I'd been an autopilot shell version of myself for a year. If my identity was this ship, all the pieces of this ship had disintegrated, fallen apart. They were floating away all in different directions. I didn't know how to go back to being my personality, and I didn't even know what I liked, how I was, how I laughed. Like everything, even filming YouTube videos, like different angles and editing, I didn't know how to do anything. It was like once my brain snapped out of the depression phase into normal, it was unrecognizable. That summer I also questioned God a ton. There were so many shootings. That was the Orlando shooting. I was just reading a lot of evil things happening in the world, and so I just felt like all of this is really depressing what I'm talking about. It was a really sad time. I cried so much. I didn't even know how to cry. And then just processing my diagnosis, I didn't want it to be true. I wanted to deny it. I wanted to believe I was making it up. I didn't want to be bipolar. Not even being able to be a friend to myself, because I didn't even know who I was. I didn't even feel like there was an I anymore. And the worst part of all of this is it's not a hard time in my life. This is the rest of my life. It never goes away. I think a week ago, I was just sobbing and crying and praying so much at like 9 p.m. I was just like outside in the park, like praying and crying to God and hating that I have this. So it continues to be really hard. And I mean, I'm happy most of the time. I look fine to everyone around me, and I am really happy, and I'm doing the best I've been doing in like 3 years, but it's just the aftermath of it and remembering back. Okay, I'm done being sad. We're gonna go back to happy essence for the video. Vince for legend, what is your favorite movie? And you are awesome. You're awesome too. I really love Begin Again. Haley Steinfeld is in it. Also Adam Levine, Keira Knightley, but not many people have heard of it. It was a big deal in Thailand. That was my favorite movie 3 years ago. I'm honestly just gonna stick with that because I don't watch that many movies. But I do love the TV show The Good Place. I've been watching it with some of my friends, especially my roommates, and we have been obsessed. It's so good. So I definitely recommend that. It is on Netflix. Go watch The Good Place. It's super philosophical and about hell and heaven. So umbrella, how do you treat yourself when you are proud of your grades? I don't know. I think for me in school, I didn't really care about grades, but if I got good grades, it wasn't like I was trying to. It was just like, oh, I love this class. It was working really hard. I wasn't like rewarding myself. I was just like, oh, like that makes sense. I got a good grade. But okay, I have really positive self-talk. Like, I'm really good at loving myself. I'm never really negative to myself or hard on myself, regardless of the grade I get in a class. I mean, I've talked about how I failed classes when I was in depression. So I was always like positive and loving and like always gave myself grace regardless. Like I don't change how I talk to myself or treat myself depending on how I perform. I'm always loving to myself unconditionally. That's how we should all be, because God loves us unconditionally, so that I'm gonna love myself and treat myself in a positive way unconditionally. I've said this in so many videos, but Aristotle has this essay on friendship, and he says that you can only be a good friend to other people if you're first a good friend to yourself. Only talk to yourself the way you would talk to one of your best friends, and then you'll start treating your best friends even better when you treat yourself better. Okay, rant over. Star Walker 88, would you give me a shout out? Yes, hi, I'm so happy you watch my videos. A heart after Jesus, how do you hear God's voice and how do you grow closer to him daily? I read the Bible daily and I try to pray throughout the day. It's so simple. You read your Bible and you pray. Hearing God's voice, God gave us the Bible. It's him speaking to us and giving us wisdom on how to live and explaining to us who he is, how he's worked in the lives of his people through thousands of years. So the Bible is everything we could ever ask for in hearing God's voice, and so I absolutely love it. I currently have been doing the Jesus Calling devotional in the mornings, and then you look through the different passages, but I also listen to the audio Bible. It is called the YouVersion Holy Bible app. I don't know if you guys can see this, but it has the audio, so then you can listen to the Bible. So if I'm walking somewhere, I can listen to the Bible while I'm walking or while I'm working. I listen to audiobooks too that are theological. I read theology type books, and I try to have theology, philosophy of religion type discussions as much as possible, and that also centers me on God. I go to church throughout the week. I'm in several Bible studies, retreats, all of that. Having a community is probably the most important thing above individually reading the Bible every day. And it doesn't need to be like reading through chapters of the Bible. Just read like 4 verses and think about them in depth. I actually think that thinking in depth intensely about a small portion of scripture is better than reading so much. So just read the same 4 verses 3 times, analyze it, pray about it as you're reading it. You know what I mean? Just read something every day. It doesn't need to be a huge thing, just something small every day. Mira.Sayer, what are your current favorite songs? So the new Taylor Swift album, I tweeted that I thought it would be horrible. I'm actually obsessed. Getaway Car, it was so annoying the first few times I heard it, but it gets stuck in your head and now I'm obsessed. Also Dress, although I do not support the sexual ethics in that song. It's so freaking catchy. It's so nice. I also love Endgame so much, but obviously the best song is New Year's Day. It's so sweet and beautiful, and it's kind of like how great All Too Well was, except for it's so happy and beautiful. And Delicate is really growing on me too. I've been listening today especially, I listened to the album on repeat all day. Also the Kelsey Ballerini album, so good. I really love Machine Heart. Music is so good. The song about how she hates love songs, so on point, because I hate romance as well. I'm literally the worst. I just intrinsically hate relationships. I don't understand. And then End of the World. And then obviously, unapologetically, Legends are so good. Allie Goldie. I love writing and journaling, but at this moment in time in my life, I am in a writer's block. What I figured out that works really well is listening to music that just like puts you in a different like mental, emotional state, and then also just going outside and running, especially doing workouts. It changes your brain chemistry. Even just drinking caffeine changes your brain chemistry. But just running outside and just seeing different people watching, thinking about what people could be thinking, going past different shops, just like a new part of the town you live in, grass, trees, dogs, you know what I mean? Just everything outside. It's real people and their lives, and if you start asking questions and thinking and analyzing what could be going on, then new story ideas usually come. Alex 1998 Sulweski, what age should people move out of their parents' house? When you go to college, or if you're going to community college and staying home after you graduate. This is such a complicated question because one of my best friends is in law school and she's living at home because her home is near her law school. So I guess it just depends on what you're doing. If you have a job, I think you should move out and live with your friends unless you're in school. Like if you're in school and your parents are still financially supporting you, that makes sense. But after you get out of school and are able to have a job, it's so much more fun living with friends. Like I love paying rent. As annoying as it is, like seeing that money come out of my bank account, because I feel like I have ownership of the place I live and I'm even more motivated to clean and to take care of it. It just makes you like value money more and appreciate things more when it's your money going to pay for everything. It teaches you so much and it's so much more fun living with friends. Joe1164, would you ever date a follower? I have addressed this so many times. I made a 20-minute video, I'm gonna link it here and in the description, talking about dating my subscribers and just explaining how when people who are interested in me start stalking my YouTube, it makes me so uncomfortable. My boyfriend, he has promised to not watch my YouTube, but he literally doesn't unless I specifically send him a video. It's like a divide of my personal life and my YouTube, and I really, really love it that way. Some of my friends occasionally watch, sometimes my family, like I'll show them a video, but it's very much like this is acting in a lot of ways, my personality on here. It's not my actual personality 100% of the time. And sometimes the way I share things on here will be like I'll share part of a story, not the entire story. And people in my life could take something out of context and misinterpret me. And so that's why I separated. Ooh, this is intense. Advice for someone who's seriously questioning God. Why would God let bad things happen to good people? I've made so many videos on questioning God. I think it's totally healthy. I think it's kind of taboo in churches. I don't know why. It should be normal in churches. I recommend for you to read the book of Job. It directly addresses the problem of evil. It's really long, but read the book of Job. I've made several videos directly talking about the problem of evil. I have a playlist of them that's going to be linked up here and below. Obviously, it's a huge question that I cannot answer in the 30-second snippet of this video. I've seriously questioned God so much throughout my life. The problem of evil is a huge, huge problem to me. I think about it so much. Last summer, I almost became agnostic because of the problem of evil, because I was questioning. Just go watch the videos where I talked about this. Evelina Surbakti, would you mind to know more COC around the world to make a group to greet each other? So really sad news, I left the Church of Christ. I didn't leave Christianity, I'm still a Christian, but I'm converting into another form of Christianity. Definitely not going to be Church of Christ. I don't think it goes by the Bible. I don't think it is the best emulation of the early church of all the churches that there are. I don't want to talk about this in any more depth of what I'm converting into for a while, because I've finally told everyone in my life about it, and the way certain people reacted was just really horrible. I know a lot of you will unsubscribe, be super angry, say I'm going astray. I mean, a lot of people already tell me I'm going to hell and I'm going astray. I get that a lot. Really sad. I mean, I feel like I'm going through a breakup or a divorce, leaving COC with my entire life. I absolutely love it. I miss it. I listen to the a cappella songs on my phone when I'm reading my Bible sometimes because I miss it so much. So it's super sad. It literally feels like going through a breakup. It's so sad. Lori Nashell, how did you get your faith to be so strong? Reading the Bible since I was, that was so intense, reading the Bible. Since I was 9 or 10, I just grew a love and passion for reading the Bible. I think it's so interesting. There's so many different genres. It's an adventure storyline, the lives of real people, but it feels so close to you and so relevant. It changes me so much. It cuts away horrible parts of me. It grows my weaknesses to become my strengths. I get to know all these depths of who God is, and I feel so loved and secure and confident in myself because of reading the Bible. And so that's how I grow close to God. It's so simple. Me96LS, do you have a lot of confidence? How did you get that? From reading the Bible so much throughout my life. I'm literally serious, because when you get to know God, you stop caring as much about what other people think of you. It's all about what God thinks of you, and so it frees you from having to please other people or be a certain version of yourself. It frees you to just be the purest version of yourself, to do what is right regardless of what other people think, to do what is best for you regardless of how other people feel. The Bible gives you guidance, and it gives you this strength of being fine on your own with God regardless of what other people think. And that's the kind of confidence you cannot get from any other source. Ken Dennedy, do you do daily Bible readings? And if so, how much do you read a day and how do you plan it out? So again, I've been doing the Jesus Calling book lately, so it'll direct you to 3 or 4 different Bible passages. So if I'm really in a rush, don't have that much time, I'll just read the individual verse and analyze it, think about it, journal, whatever. But sometimes I'll just randomly decide, I'm gonna read all of 1 John right now, I'm gonna read James right now, and I spend an hour and a half reading through an entire book of the Bible. A lot of people say, oh, I don't have time to read the Bible. Well, do you have time to watch Netflix, to watch TV, movies, to go shopping, to hang out with your friends? If you, like, everyone has leisure time in their life. No one is working 18-hour days, going to school for 18 hours. All of us have at least 30 minutes, 5 minutes of downtime. So the Jesus Calling book forces me into the Old and New Testament equally, and then randomly, based upon what we talked about at church, it might like inspire me to read another book of the Bible. But it's super impulsive a lot of times what I decide to read. It's just whatever I feel like at the moment, and then dive into depth, analyze it, annotate. It's so much fun. So that was the whole video. I love you guys so much, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!